Now tell me, how many of you think that phonics is old? It's an old method. Okay. Okay, y'all think it's an old method. How many of you think phonics is 20 years old? 20 years old. Okay, Kirtana, Srinivasan, Usha, they think, okay, 20 years old. Now you can put your hands down, everyone. So we'll have another question, so you can raise your hand. Otherwise, you keep your hand up, raised for all the answers, right? It wouldn't make sense. How many of you think that phonics is older than 20 or 30 years? Aradhika thinks, Nisha thinks, Kripa thinks, Shravan thinks. Okay, Radhe, okay, all right. Few of you think it is like more than 20, 30 years old. All right. But you know what? It is even older than that. It's even older than that. So I know that some of you are not from India, but since most of you are, and it's a common language which is used, I think 90% of you may be familiar with a language called Hindi. How many of you don't know Hindi? You can raise your hand. Don't know Hindi means you don't even know the letters like that. A, E, or K. You have never even read those letters before. Okay, Kritika has never, Shravan DJ has never, all right. But then let us take a look at one example. Even if you don't know, maybe this will help you to understand, okay? So I'm going to share my whiteboard here. I hope all of you can see it. Kavita ma'am, yeah? Okay. So I'm going to write something, even for the ones who don't know Hindi. The ones who know Hindi, nothing like it. But if you don't know, it is still okay. You will be able to figure it out. I'll help you understand. This is just an example. I'm not teaching you Hindi. Okay, just for an example. See, I'm writing something now over here. This is one letter in Hindi. And this is another letter in Hindi. Okay. So, I would call the first letter as G. Okay, sorry. I would call the first letter as G. In Hindi, G. We call it G. The sound is G. And the second letter, I will call it as R. If I combine both these letters, these are Hindi letters, by the way. It will be interesting for some of you, even if you don't know Hindi, but I'll tell you how you will be convinced with this example. Okay. If I combine both the letters, G and R together, I form a word called ghar. Ghar means house in Hindi. Even if you may not know Hindi, you must have probably heard a word called ghar. And for the ones who do not know Hindi at all, who are from another country, even for you, just to give information, Gha is one symbol, another symbol is Ra. So Gha and Ra together form a word called Ghar. So Ghar is nothing but a house. Okay, I'll just draw a simple house here to help you understand what is the meaning of this word Ghar. Okay, Ghar is a house. When you looked at that symbol, you said Gha. Then you looked at another symbol and you say Ra. Then you combine both the symbols Gha and Ra and you said Ghar. Ghar is helping you form, it's like forming a word. What you did was applying phonics. You looked at the symbol, you said the sound. Then you look at another symbol, you say the sound for the second symbol also. Then you combine both and then you're forming a word. So you're already applying phonics. You already applied phonics in Hindi. And you know how old Hindi is? How old is Hindi? Hundreds and thousands of years old. Right? So that is how old phonics is. So phonics is not a new method. So you don't have to think that I don't know what phonics is and I don't know how to apply the phonics method. You will know it. Because imagine how old the language Hindi is. That is how old this method phonics is. In